I'm gonna be recalling what happened at E3 2015 today, and this is day one. It was the Bethesda conference, but it did have a lot of awesome content, and before I get to the actual content we want to discuss, the first few games it involved, first of all, they announced a sequel to Doom. I guess you can't call it Doom 4. It was kind of Mortal Kombat-ish with executions and map builders, and it's basically what you come to expect. It's basically Doom 3, but with a map editor, online multiplayer, and just brutal finishing, just like Mortal Kombat. Next up, there was obviously Elder Scrolls Online, which is already out on Xbox One and PS4 and PSC, I believe, as well. And it was honestly what you'd expect. They showed off a few new areas that you would expect to see in Tamriel Unlimited, and there were kind of just a lot of new maps, and honestly, it was kind of the same old content. You've seen it before. And then they introduced Hell, which is I'm not quite sure. It's kind of a hellish game. Funny. But anyway, they moved on to, I believe they announced Elder Scrolls something. Basically, there's an Elder Scrolls card game, actually. I believe it is somewhere here. But yeah, it was actually a card game, because the person who was introducing it claimed that he had been a big fan of card games while he was young, so he's really excited to announce it, and he can relate to it and whatnot. So, without further ado, let us get to the actual content. I'm actually just gonna stream the live stream here, and Fallout 4 gameplay reveal, and I'm gonna commentate my way along. Alright, this is basically the editor for Fallout 4, where you start off editing. You kind of create your character. It's kind of a Sims 4 kind of thing. And yeah, you just select the part and you sculpt it, just like Sims 4 basically. And you can choose from a female as well. And once this is through, hold on, let me skip the actual content here. Once this is through, this is your modern house. This is one of your robots. It's kind of like a maid. First thing you'll notice are the graphics. They are not what you'd expect from game that's in 2015. Like, you have The Witcher 3 and then you have this. Honestly, they're PS3 graphics. That's a lot of what I saw in the chat in the live stream. But honestly, you'll see later on how they've done a pretty good job. Animations and characters wise, not so much. As you can see, they still have the same conversation system that they had in Fallout 3. Yeah, basically he's introducing them to a Fallout shelter, yet again. And he's asking if there's enough room, blah blah blah, and moving on. Basically, you have the modern home, you have a child. Fun fact, the child is created based on how you created the female and the male, so it's kind of like generated that way. But, moving on, oh no, something happens, and you're the only remaining survivor. You're gonna be the only remaining survivor of a catastrophic event. Then, you wake up 200 years later. Keep in mind, none of these things are actual big spoilers, because I know just about as much about it as the next guy, so they haven't revealed everything. They actually refuse to reveal spoilers. Yep, as I said, take a look at the graphics. You can choose third person and first person, and yeah, basically, as the announcer was just saying, go wherever you want and just explore, honestly, is the main thing. And this is a bit like, I'll actually move forward with this. You can interact with a lot of things. There's your robot from 200 years ago. And it is honestly just stunning the way they've done it. Not to mention, actually, I'm gonna remove my face cam for now. Not to mention the way they've actually made a building system. Like, you can interact with other organisms. You can give it commands. what else was there? They actually introduced, as you can see, a weapon system. I don't think the combat system looks pretty good. You have that ticky-tacky system from Hitman Absolution. That's one thing, but I honestly don't think this might be what was expected, is what I'm trying to say. Basically, it's kind of a weird system. I mean, it's detailed and everything, as they said, but as you'll see ahead, these are a few locations you'll explore. Yep. Getting on to the main content, they don't actually introduce this later on, but there is a builder mode. Basically, you can make your own houses, and it's kind of like that where you can. It's a really steady system. I thought it would be bad at first, but it's actually really steady. You can, and it all just works. You basically make your own house and shelter, and there will be raiders trying to attack it. You have to defend it, and I think the system will definitely work. It will 100% work. And moving on to this Time Magazine article, yeah, they're gonna be bigger raiders, they're gonna be mammoths, blah blah blah. Then they released the bombshell that they're actually getting a app for Fallout 4 called Fallout Shelter, which is actually coming out tonight. Basically, it's kind of like that Doomsday Preppers app, or a game, where you have to make your own Fallout Shelter, and it's pretty good looking, decent, and it does not require internet connection, and it is free, and genuinely free, meaning no extra payments to have a good time, although you can buy extra lunch boxes, but that's about it. Kind of like FIFA points, but that's about it. Anyway, that is about all there's to share. They are releasing a special edition of Fallout 4 that comes with the actual watch that they use in it. It's huge, it's actually pretty big, and there's an iPhone app that goes with it. You can put your phone in the watch, open the app, and you literally have your own watch from Fallout 4. And by watch, I mean that a special tech item, I forgot its name, should be here somewhere. Anyway, yeah, it comes with the special edition of Fallout 4. If you don't get special edition, there is always the normal edition and the app. So I mean, that works. Anyway, that's about it. I didn't talk about a bit more. There is actually a Dishonored Definitive Edition coming up for Xbox One and PS4. There is going to be a Dishonored 2, but they did not talk a lot about it. They're just saying expect more this year. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with more E3 news later on, and thanks for watching. Subscribe.